So the only person missing is David. And November 19th is good, our typical date for the next meeting?
Yes, for me.
Yeah, thank you. I don't have any conflicts on the 19th.
Okay.
As of right now.
It looks good for me.
Never know.
All right. And how about, let's move on to the minutes. Did anybody have anything that needed to be changed or clarified? I have a couple questions. And it could be that it's just in a different spot, but when we talked about drafting a master plan for adult programming, I don't believe we specified how many programs exactly. We talked about various amounts, but we did say that we wanted to move that onto our goals.
Okay.
And I don't believe we said for next year. I think we should just start it if it's in our goals, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
So I don't, the next year I don't think is right. And I don't recall, and I didn't see it in my notes, an explicit number. I don't know if anybody else
I
did.
think it's like
We talked at least every other month.
every other month.
I know, so I don't
Right,
know if that necessarily translated into 6.
right,
But
okay,
Right.
that was mentioned, and I saw that in the note, but I didn't have 6 written down anywhere.
right, okay.
So-
Me either, so when we get to the goals, let's clarify that goal and make sure it's on the goals, because it's not on there now.
Okay.
And I also don't recall saying that we concluded that it was too expensive and that we would not purchase the acquisition module for Atrium.
Yeah, because it was $3,000. I think it, we didn't exactly.
But I don't think
vote on
we
it.
officially voted or anything.
But it was-
That it was too expensive to buy.
Oh, okay.
We just talked about how much it cost.
Right.
Okay.
I think we were kind of near ending the meeting at that point.
Okay.
So, and again, this is just the minutes. I don't believe
Right.
that it was concluded in any way.
Okay.
That's all I have on the minutes.
Okay, so I'll take that line item, that line out.
And the words next year for the adult program.
Okay. And where did you?
And this, under the director's report.
Okay.
And
Out of the 6 programs.
11,
And we talked about making it consistent and continuous.
right. Right.
I think we limited it to 6.
So I would take out the number 6 too, because. So with those changes, do I hear a motion from anybody?
Okay, before we do, director's report additional items. Okay, so let's take out number 6.
What?
What?
No, wait, but you said the director's report? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
The
Under
minutes.
the director's report in the minutes.
Report, it says 6 programs a year. We
Okay.
never said 6.
Oh, okay.
We said make it continuous every
Right.
other month, something or another that
Okay.
is
Right.
scheduled and known and can be repeated.
Okay, I see.
And our goal was also to put it in our goals. You know,
Okay.
we wanted it moved into the actual goals
Okay.
because it wasn't happening under on ongoing goals or.
Okay.
So it's right next to where the word next year, the words next year are. Are we good?
Yeah, it's basically,
Move to approve.
yeah, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All
Who
right.
seconded?
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm in a hurry. Okay. So moving on to the trustee account, I see a new page that I haven't really seen before. And I'm curious because it doesn't, we didn't allocate any certain amounts to any of
No.
these different things
Yeah,
yet.
because this was really the first year.
But we never approved a budget and we never did finalize a budget. I like seeing this laid out like this. I don't know how everybody else feels. It looks like this. It's a
Yeah.
little small.
Yeah, otherwise we'd have multiple pages.
I like seeing that accounting of the trustees' money.
Well, and I
Um,
thought it would be good when you went to do the budget for next year, would have an idea on how much to allocate or not
Right.
to allocate.
Okay.
That's why I did it.
So I just wanted to make sure that we had never voted on a budget for that yet. Hello, everybody?
Yeah, that's correct. But we did kind of get on Jackie about we need to
Yes.
have a budget.
Right.
Now we got at least something to look at.
Right. Okay. Anybody have anything else to say about the trustees account?
Looks right.
What was that, Jim?
It looks right.
So moving on to the City of Mitchell budget statement. Oh,
Can I ask a quick question? We were talking about some other city funding stuff this morning. How does money come in and out of the trustee account? Do you guys have to approve every expense that goes in and out of it? Or how do you,
we haven't had to except for after the fact,
right?
and which is why I would like to set up a budget so that we would know, you would know, or, that you have this much to spend on adult programming or this much to spend on children's programming, right?
Right.
But, we've been talking about that
I was
for months
Curiosity.
and months and months.
And by and large, the expenses that come out of the trustees account are either been approved as an ongoing expense for something, or
Right, for
we
the
talk
top
about
part,
it
the
for a
top
couple
part.
of months and then decide.
But some of the things that are on there, where did I put it?
I just know if I could ask, I would like to know how to answer it.
Some of the items on there, we approve after they happen. The money that gets spent on programming, basically,
Not
during
necessarily.
Lowberry Week.
Most of it.
Hmm?
You said
It's approved
programming.
after
Yeah.
it's spent,
Yeah.
not before. That's your answer. So back to the city.
Thank you.
I guess I'll
No, I don't have any questions.
I guess I'll just ask about the periodicals again. That's going to be at the end of the year?
Yep, the bill's gonna be submitted here. Well, they're gonna submit us an invoice at the end of the year. They only bill once a year regardless of whether you submit your changes or no changes to your periodical list in May or in September. They will only issue one bill, one invoice for the whole year, and that usually is in November, December.
Right, so I guess make sure that you
Yeah.
get it soon enough to pay it out of this year's budget.
Yeah, it'll be paid.
Because we've, over the past couple of years, had several things cut. Because they
Well,
haven't been
and
used.
we cut because I cut them.
No, I mean, I'm not talking about that.
Okay. Oh, I see. The other things, not just the periodicals,
Talking
yeah.
about the fact that we budgeted money, we didn't spend it, and so then when you look at the 3-year average.
Yeah,
It
it's
kills
not in
it.
there anymore.
yeah.
It ruins it. Totally ruins it. It does.
3-year, 5-year average or whatever, and say, how come you didn't spend that money? Oh, they didn't bill it in time. Well,
Yeah,
And now it'll be always this lower number. How do you ever get a higher number?
just
For-
keep
for
asking
books.
for it.
That brings me to audiovisual. It's looking like you need to step up spending a little bit on that one. or that's gonna, same thing's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, I've been ordering, and of course, we get the standing order, and I think we have $2,000-3,000 left in the standing order programs. That should be coming.
Right, and there's $4,702 left in the budget.
So I can buy more DVDs and finish that out.
And was there some other large expense that was gonna happen under travel and conference dues and dues?
Yeah, actually,
The Spearfish Conference hasn't gone through yet.
yeah.
Oh,
No, it's not on there yet.
So that'll clean that one up
Pretty
substantially.
much.
so the money that's out of there was from the Minneapolis trip?
Minneapolis. That was last year.
It was in this budget year, right?
Okay.
Oh, otherwise, what else was it? Yeah, it was the Minneapolis trip.
Okay.
That's all I've got. Anybody else has anything they would like to?
Are we on track for spending the books money?
Yes,
Yes, we are. We should be at 75 or at 77.
I think you're even better than that. If you-
77.84.
Well, and I think you spent even more after that,
Right.
so I think I wrote it down, actually. We're down pretty well. I think we're down to $3,350 in that account,
Okay.
so,
Okay, so when you're saying down, we're pretty much down.
right,
Okay.
from this amount that's on here.
Mhm.
Are we allowed to go over that budget?
No.
All right. Anybody notice anything that we need to talk about for the bills?
They all look normal.
Yep. So,
Move to approve the bills and claims.
The bills and what?
Claim.
Okay.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
So, director's report.
Okay, well, you can see the circulation was down again. It has been really quiet. I mean, we have our programs and everything. You know, the kids are coming in and using the computers, but nothing's getting checked out. Now, today's a different story. I mean, we are busy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm working, I couldn't open mine for some reason. I don't know why.
You couldn't open your board packet?
No, you said, right, something? Yeah, I couldn't
Oh,
open
okay.
that, and I didn't see the statistics in the packet that you put online. I didn't get
It's
them.
not in the board packet.
Huh?
It's not in the board packet.
Yeah,
Really?
it's not.
So that I've got mine from the board packet.
It's not online. 'Cause that's where I'm at right now, is online.
Okay.
So we're at 11,602 average per month, and last year we were 11,659, so the total year-to-date circulation isn't down much.
Okay.
Within, what, 50?
Yeah, so that's
50
not really,
checkouts per
yeah.
month or whatever, so.
Okay.
The question I had, and as I went through, did we get the numbers for the library cards from the middle school?
No, and I was gonna email Carolyn. I haven't gotten them.
You haven't gotten them?
I don't see it in there yet.
Okay, Did you request them by any chance?
Oh, can, who is in charge
It
of
would
it?
be Patty Brewster.
Patty Brewster,
And if she has questions, she can email me also.
okay.
Last year we got them in September.
Right.
Right,
There is a new employee, so.
okay,
Because it just.
I know she's got it on her list because I talked to her about it, so.
As
Okay.
they track it along and kind of, oh,
Mhm.
there's a gap there. There should be a couple hundred.
Yeah,
Something,
yep,
right?
Okay.
In that range, I think.
yeah,
Other than that, they look pretty good. And the other thing, our electrical usage looks good. We should be probably under, we'll certainly be under kilowatts used. So that's a good thing from our remodeling standpoint. It's hard to say the dollars are gonna be down because of the electrical rate increase in 2016. Usage is not going up, so
So the thing that I had wanted to look for was if you had figured out some way to keep track of purchasing and putting books on the shelf, like
the
someplace,
flow route.
yeah.
yeah, we're getting them on, by the time they come here, integrating on the shelf, it's like 5 days.
Except we're not seeing that. Is there some way we can see that somehow?
Yeah,
Like a,
Books are
it's gonna have to
see
be
books on
manually.
shelf. But, yeah, I don't know what it looks like. But
I mean, maybe you would have to do separate reports, a report from what you ordered, and a report from what you cataloged, and a report from, well, yeah, what you cataloged,
Mhm.
and then some
And
type
what's
of
coming.
documentation of them being on the shelf.
Okay.
I mean, and I know that might seem tedious. I mean, I just had to eliminate a whole bunch of patrons and things from our program at the high school, and I had to enter 3 different report types in order to get the information that was asked for. But
Okay.
it was there. And I'd really like to see that appear on the director's report as a new statistic, for a while, so we can keep track of it. That's what we're doing with these, right?
Right, maybe it's not meaningful, but maybe it is, and I don't know.
But we don't know.
Yeah. That's the questions we have.
Okay.
If you order all these books, why can't I check them out?
Well, it's anecdotal what you're telling us. I'd like to see it in a report, factual.
Okay.
Are we moving to additional items now? Would that be
I
good?
guess we can, yeah.
Lindsay? I'm curious about the thank you note and the monetary donation. How much was it? And did he give it to the library, or did he give it to the Friends Foundation?
No, he gave it to the library, which in turn I contacted Sheila, and I'm gonna turn it over to them,
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. How much was it?
just $50.
Okay, I was just curious what
Yeah,
we were talking about. And on number 6, I don't know how you pronounce her name. Is
it
it
took us a while.
Enola?
Enola Shakarova,
What type of community service has she been doing in the library?
just whatever needs to be done.
Such as?
She's been working with Cindy, with weeding books and that sort of thing, but this is one of her requirements for being a foreign exchange student. So this is, a public program for everybody. So.
Is it being advertised?
Yes. Yep. And in fact, the paper is supposed to come next Monday, I believe, and do an article on her.
Where is it being advertised? Like what, I haven't seen anything, if it's in a
It should
week.
be on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
and we're gonna put it in the Daily Digest. And we'll put it in the City Hall calendar, or the city, the city, that's website, city website, there we go.
So who would be putting it on Facebook?
Us,
Who's us?
well, the library staff,
Is there somebody specific in charge of that, or?
I don't believe so. Usually Jean Patrick posts things like that to Facebook. What's that? Not on there yet. Okay.
So I thought as part of one of our goals for having the advertising thing, that somebody was going to be keeping track of that kind of stuff.
Well, and it should be Zach, but right now he's, has other things. I know it sounds like a lame excuse, and but we'll see what we can do. I'll visit with him and see if he can get it on there and get it.
Well, not just that, it's that whole newsletter, that whole thing.
still
Is
working
that
on
going to
it,
be
too.
under his job,
Yeah.
under his duties or whatever? Does he know that?
Mhm.
Well, I just picked out those two things. Does anybody else have anything on the additional items?
What did you think of the SDLA report?
That you have listed under new business.
Oh, okay, sorry about that, yeah, you're right. The Denny enlisted great conference.
Yeah, I feel bad about that. They had a good one in Detroit, too.
Yeah.
The weather didn't matter.
So we need to approve the director's report.
Yeah, I'll move approval of the director's report. And with the note that we'll get the library card information.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm thinking. What time did you say we have to do that?
5:30.
Okay.
Well, the golf board doesn't start till 5:45.
Well, so thereabouts then. We're, yeah.
I'm on that one too.
Okay.
Just stay here.
All right, so moving on to unfinished business. I see that you included the request for proposal.
Mhm. Did you all get that?
Yes.
Okay.
So did you send it to anybody?
Didn't, I thought you guys would want to look at it. I'll send it in the morning. I've got 4 vendors lined up.
You'll also want to post it on the city website too, in
Okay.
case somebody else besides those 4 vendors is interested.
That's a
Okay.
good point, yeah.
Yeah, the request itself looks fine, so.
Okay.
And, before we look at the technology plan, I wanted to make sure, again, that we put the adult programming as a goal. Should we talk about making that specific? I mean, I would like to see something every month, but that's me.
So you want it on the ongoing?
No, it's on the ongoing, sort of. I want it on goals, the regular
Okay.
goals. Because
Okay.
ongoing, it hasn't happened, really. And I feel as though we voted about this at our last meeting, to move it to goals.
Okay.
I don't know if we need to vote, but
So these goals are gonna be, they're dated through December of 19, which is only 2 more months.
right,
So
we'll have to change those.
are we looking at creating some more, or are we looking at changing some dates if these aren't all done?
That's probably gonna be some of both.
Really, I would like to change the dates and work on the ones we have and get them done because they've been on the list for a long time.
I feel like we haven't really changed that in a while.
You know, see some more action on them and focus on the, you know, maybe not have so many things.
Well, and I think that's a good idea too.
So, I mean, I would keep, you know, keep these goals on here.
We don't want to run out of goals.
Right. But I think that a couple of these are pretty big. And like I said, if not, we haven't seen very much action on them, I'd really like to see something happen. So then the other thing that you gave us the technology plan, and that's because of upgrading to enhanced status?
Enhanced status, yeah.
Okay.
You know, we just have to have documentation that we've discussed it. Don't necessarily have to approve it. You know, just that we've discussed it.
So if we don't approve it, what is it?
Can approve it next year for the, when we go for exemplary status.
When we go for what?
Well, there's another level.
Does it ever end? Can't we
It
just be
ends
a
with-
library that gets some things done?
Yeah, it's supposed to be, exemplary is the, I mean, like I said, you know, it's all volunteer. If you decide you don't want to, then, you know, that's fine.
Well, it's interesting because a lot of these things, for all the statuses we've been trying to achieve each year, we seem to get those done, but we don't get a lot of the other ones done. So you're saying if we don't approve this now, we would do it next year instead? I mean, I think we should have a technology plan.
What does everybody else think?
Well, I think we need to approve it.
Did you read it all the way through?
I'm almost done.
Are there parts of that that, I mean, I like that we were spelling out when we need new hardware and that sort of thing.
Right.
Because otherwise you end up with a lot of outdated stuff that all needs to be replaced at the same time, so.
Did you
I
look at
wonder
it?
if it should, well, of course, this is a plan. Goal.
So that means it could be changed if we wanted to change it?
Oh, yeah.
My question on it related to that was, yes, it's a plan, so, yeah, we want to replace hardware, well, what hardware should we replace? What should we replace it with? I'm not gonna think I'm gonna replace a, HP laptop with another HP laptop in 3 years
Right.
if laptops are obsolete.
Well, that's where I was going.
Or if we should have tablets with interactive touch screens for patrons to use, or stand-up areas for patrons to look at, or, I mean, Google even has put out now the interactive gaming thing. Should we have gaming stations at the library? What are the things that, from a technology standpoint, that our patrons are requesting, not just what is the
this doesn't answer that.
No, it
No.
doesn't answer it, but it doesn't limit that
Right.
either.
Right.
Because it's written just, yes, hardware. Hardware can be any of those things.
Well, except it does, it's technology plan.
Right, but
The-
hardware can be, what if it's not invented yet? I can't
Right,
write it in.
right.
Well, that was where I was gonna say something about that, but maybe it isn't appropriate to have in the plan. Because this is a plan for what we're doing now, but it really doesn't address emerging technology.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe addressing emerging technology isn't part of the plan, because we don't know what it is yet. But we need to make sure that our goals address our continuing
Paying attention to it.
paying attention to emerging technology and incorporating that into our plan.
I'm glad you brought that up, because under the, I was confused because it said technology strategic plan and inventory, equipment for meeting room use, video projector, which I get, but easels, chalkboard, what's that have to do with technology?
We can eliminate that.
And then I also had the question for the 2020 budget. It says that seven new monitors to replace the existing ones, and one staff computer was approved. Is that,
That's been approved for next year. The funds have.
was it just the monitors though? I thought it was.
No, the monitors and the,
Okay, because it just says the monitors, so that's why,
oh, okay, well, I can change that easily enough.
those are the things that I was seeing.
Okay.
It's, we're replacing the computers
Correct,
too, right?
right.
Yeah, yeah.
And that, it just says monitors in both of these.
Okay.
I'm feeling like we should dedicate some time to talk about this a little more on the separate sections and maybe putting in some wording like you said. And other things too, like we talked about self-checkout. Would that be in the technology plan? Because you would.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
I just set it up at the elementary school.
Mhm.
It works.
Mhm.
So anyway, I'm just thinking that maybe we should really focus on that a little bit more.
Maybe just take one meeting,
Well, I don't know if we need a whole meeting, huh?
Part of one.
part of a
Right,
meeting.
just make this be the only goal that we're talking about, I guess. How does everybody feel about that? Or do you think we should just do it right now?
No.
I feel like there's a few questions like you brought up and like you brought up.
Okay.
And then if we come to the next meeting prepared to talk about that.
Because I don't want our vision to be, yep, we're gonna have
Status quo.
19 desktop computers 3 years from now,
Right.
because that is almost obsolete from what people are gonna be
Pretty much.
used to or
Yeah.
using, that,
Right.
I wanna go sit over here with a tablet or a laptop
Or on the wall.
or on the wall,
Right.
or have a smartboard, or
Right.
or play games against whoever I went to the library with, or play games against somebody someplace else in the world.
Yeah. So does everybody agree? Can we give it this more thought?
Yeah, and I just wanted to make one point too, Steve. This is like 20 to 22, but it can be changed at any time. You know, like I said, the technology changes, we want to incorporate some, maybe 2022, instead of putting seven new monitors, we might want to replace it with something else. This isn't set in concrete.
Okay.
It can be changed at any time.
But also the point of not just the technology
That we have.
that we're using as a library,
Mhm.
not the technology that we offer.
Mhm.
You could go as
Right.
general as to
We want to put
replace.
something in about the future in here.
Right.
And
So,
maybe,
I mean, to me, that even goes back to in the meeting minutes of whether we thought what was too expensive or whatever to get that much. What does that look like? Should we only be operating on one system that does
All
all
of
of
it.
and eliminating
Exactly.
other things? Streamline
Right.
this, self-checkout, all of those things of how we operate technology versus just limiting to the technology we offer patrons to use.
So next
So
meeting,
there's both sides of the
right,
technology.
right.
Our internal use is operating as a library, and
But that can
our
change too.
patron
Yeah,
offerings
right.
of what we have for them to use or play with or check out.
So, we'll save this
Yeah,
for next
yeah.
meeting. We'll
Okay.
kind of focus on that. That, and if you get any replies back by then.
For the
RFP,
All right. Okay. So. So you're saying you have 4, or how many did you say that you're
Well,
gonna-
there was 4 on that site.
What site?
Well, the meeting where Jessica Googled,
Okay.
and so I dug a little deeper, and really there were only 4 of them that specialized in library design.
On the city's webpage, they have a bid page, a place to place all bids.
Okay.
So I guess I want to mention actually here, not only we have now the self-checkout and returns set up, but I don't know if you guys read in the paper about the coffee at the high school, coffee shop.
Yep.
And it is actually a hit. It's great. It makes the people and the students feel good about being in the building. And it's yet another reason why I would like to see it happen here. Just as an
I was
aside.
just
So
that-
the high school is
It was,
within the library or in a
it,
separate room?
it was going to be within the library, but the plumbing wouldn't allow, expense-wise, so they moved it right down the hall. So, and it actually still affects the library though, because, yeah, they're not stopping somewhere else. They're going there and into the library. It's changed the timing a little bit of things, but it's been great. They like it. It's a hit. And
Do they have any problems with spillage?
I don't know. I've been allowing food and beverages for 6 years in there, so.
Yeah, I know we have too, but
I was just at McGovern Library today, and they have a Starbucks. It was very busy,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
the kids were checking out books and grabbing a coffee and sitting off to the side, drinking their coffee, reading a book.
right. If you create that atmosphere, and that's a group we'd like to have, in that age group, or even people who aren't in college anymore, but they're still here,
Yeah,
doing whatever.
yeah, we've classified them as the new young adult, or the new adults. Well, is in reference to purchasing material, they're the new adults. The ages 18 or 19 to, I think it's like 20-some.
Right.
So, yeah.
some of us are becoming geezers.
Well, when I drive down Main Street to go to work, I see that coffee shop, I'm going to say it wrong, is it Elixir?
No,
Yeah.
that's right.
And there's people in there sipping their coffee and talking and socializing, at, I think, 6:45 in the morning. So I'm not saying the library needs to be open at 7:30 in the morning, but, okay. So I guess we can move on to, can we talk about the Swank movies before the conference, just to make sure that we get that done?
Mm.
What is that? I do not understand.
There's a company that provides movies from like Lionsgate, DreamWorks, so they can be shown with public performance rights.
So do we need to have a contract or something?
Yeah, there's a contract that needs to be signed. It's $495 for a year from when you sign. Just say if it's November 1st, then it goes to November 1st, October 31st of 2020. And we can show a lot of movies. In fact, the program for December and even part of November would be Christmas movies. We
This
talked
is
about
to show movies in the library.
show
Is it
movies.
copyright compliant?
They're copyright compliant,
It's how much?
$4.95.
You mean in the, like in the conference room? Not the conference room,
Yeah,
the
the meeting room.
meeting room?
So is this something you've done in the past, or?
No, we haven't done it, but there's some libraries that
Yeah,
have
lots of
done it.
libraries do.
And Swank is a distribution company, too.
Mhm.
They have,
Yeah.
because you can buy a license for about $300 a year. Or at least it used to be about $300 a year, but then you needed to have, you had to have somebody who would distribute the films or videos to you. So does that $4.95 include the subscription rights, the distribution rights to the videos? as well?
Okay, I'm sure it does, but I'll call them back.
And how many?
Okay.
Well, it's just for a group event, right, that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what
How
we're
many group
intending.
events can you-
Oh, I
can you
see.
show 300
I get
different
it.
movies during the year?
Right. I
Sure.
see.
Find time for them.
Well, can you?
Yeah.
Will they allow you to stream 300 different movies for $495?
Yeah, that was my question.
Okay. I
Because
get it.
licensing, you can't do this without a license.
Right.
But I know you can get a license for like 300, 350, I don't remember where you get them. I bought them for a few years for the Masonic Temple and for the church. But then you still had to access the video from
Correct.
someplace.
And there might be a
And there could be
fee
another
or
charge
charge
for
or
that.
whatever, right.
Yeah.
Oh, and it says learn how we can help your library raise funds. I like that. I like it, but I guess it's not very detailed information on, like you said $4.85 a year, or $4.95,
$4.95 a year.
$4.95.
It's year to year, you can't prorate it, it doesn't, it just goes from whenever you start to 365 days
Mm.
later.
And you would think you'd be able to start during December for the Christmas?
Or I thought maybe we'd even start maybe right before Thanksgiving.
And is that how they do it? The movies that you can pick from, is it always themed each month or something? Or they
Well,
just
I
have
guess
a group that you can pick
Well,
from?
they suggested a group for Christmas, like the Polar Express, Elf, I can't remember the one with,
Make sure that it includes the
Yeah.
actual movies too.
Santa Claus.
And so how did you see this working? Like, would you have like hot chocolate for everybody
Yeah.
or something?
Popcorn.
I mean, I'm for it, if that's what it really is, if this is what it really is, but I don't know how we know that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you'd be interested in it at all, but.
Well, I mean, how many times, if you did it, you'd have to do it a lot, because you don't want it to cost $100 each
Per
time.
movie,
You're like,
right.
well, if you only do it 5 times, then it's $100.
Yeah, we can do it for February, we can do one movie a month, if you want to.
This would not be considered under the adult programming, though, by the way.
Okay, well,
It depends on what kind of movies you run.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the Christmas one, we can plug it as an
No,
event.
because then we could just do this every month, and then we
Two
have nothing
questions.
else.
So where in the budget does the $495 come from?
It wouldn't come out of the city budget.
It would come out, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we're competing with the movie theater from a.
That's why we have to look at the Swank catalog and
Yeah.
see if they're first-run movies or not. I suspect
They're not, which takes the competition a little bit off of it.
Right.
We used to do this in college, and Swank was around then.
And then-
That's why I recognize
And I
it.
know, because the city of Mount Vernon does 2 outdoor movies on Friday nights and 3 they did this last year, on Friday nights in the spring and summer. They did the same thing, they had to go through, get the licensing, got the summer themed movies and.
The fraternity I was in,
50, 60 people show up, and they're sitting in the lawn chairs outside of the park in Mount Vernon, and they put a bed sheet up and kind of have a city deal. That's kind of how I see it, and I just want to make sure we're not,
Right.
hey, we're having Christmas themed movie at the library the same weekend that Logan Luxury Theaters was running Christmas themed movie for the kids on Saturday morning. I don't see that as.
Well, maybe
Doesn't make
you
it
could
doesn't look
talk
very good.
to them. No, I actually don't, I think they wouldn't like have a problem if we showed one movie a month.
Depending
Really?
on how it's
Right.
presented.
And
what
even
it's-
if, maybe talk to them ahead of time too.
Now granted, this experience goes back nearly 45 years. My fraternity and undergraduate school, we ran movies every Friday and Saturday night in the auditorium of the Science Center at St. Olaf College. And it was the place to go for a cheap date. And we got movies from Swank, I remember that name, and 2 or 3 other distribution companies. And the guy who ran the theater in downtown Northfield loved it.
Yeah.
He made it abundantly clear to us. He said, if you're getting people to come to your movie on Friday night, it's more likely they'll come to my movie on Saturday night because they're developing. He had a bit of foresight. He said, the number of people who go sit in movie theaters is declining courtesy of TV. This is 45 years ago.
Right.
And he said, you get people to come to your auditorium to watch movies on campus, it's more likely they're going to come to my auditorium and watch movies downtown. So he was,
Movie-going behavior.
yeah, he was all for it. So,
Right, that's what I was thinking, it enhances.
and
it.
particularly because the films we could get were not the first run
Right.
films that were coming
And-
from the distribution.
And as a library, it's offering something free to our patrons. You know, if a family can't afford to go to the movie, at least that one time at that month, they could go here,
No, I could
see a
say that
movie.
You might hear that comment.
Yeah,
Yes,
they'll
I
hear that.
understand.
That's why we differentiate ourselves. Maybe we run art films.
Somehow, yeah, differentiate it somehow.
As a family, maybe a
Something.
family event.
And if they're theme related with donation something or this or some other nonprofit helps us out with it and wants to run something to promote some other nonprofit or something like that, and the library says, hey, the movie, we can host it, you can show it, and that type of stuff I think would be, community organization wise would be great.
So what are we saying? Are we saying,
Take a look at it.
Get more info.
We
More
wanna know
information.
Yeah, more information on it. Is there an extra charge per movie or not?
I don't know.
I understand the license part, that I
Yeah.
understand, but what about the movie itself?
Right,
There shouldn't be any charge.
well, you need to
Yeah.
read the fine print.
well, it says right on here, our annual site license protects your entire library for unlimited movie showings from the majority, blah, 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 unlimited.
Yeah, but a license will,
Yeah.
Right.
but that doesn't say that the access to the movies is unlimited.
Right.
So,
So clarify that, because we're sort of on board.
or free.
We're sort of on board.
Okay, so you want to make sure that we're not, the public isn't charged, right?
Say again.
What?
You know, here's
Okay.
the possibility. Yep, you pay $495, you have unlimited, you're covered from a liability standpoint. for
Right.
Showing as many movies as possible. And if you wanna show Polar Express, it's $29.95.
Right,
Mm,
it could be
And
that.
if you wanna show Toy Story, that's $19.95. And you can't show it more than 3 times.
Okay, I
And if
understand
you
what
wanna
you're saying.
show this, you're covered liability wise.
Okay.
You're not, it doesn't explicitly say that the movie's free.
Okay.
Yeah, so get a
okay.
contract
I
and bring it to the
misunderstood.
meeting.
And you're covered liability wise for unlimited movies. Well, can I show unlimited amount of movies?
Right,
Or is there a limit?
exactly, right. The wording is, could you actually email it to us when you get it?
Sure.
And
So
the
we
li-
know ahead of time?
And remember, the licensing doesn't relate to whether or not you're charging admission. The licensing relates to use, period. Because when you buy a DVD or a video cassette, you're buying that for single, in-home, personal use. You can't even invite your neighbors over.
Well,
Legal.
they're advertising this for libraries.
And this, but that's why we gotta have a license.
Right.
So the license is completely different from whether we charge admission or not, or whether we even show the damn thing.
Okay, so guess we're at the SVLA conference.
Yeah. There was a session that both Gene and I guess I just attended. Scandy at your library, I thought this would be a program that we could offer the public during the winter months if they can make it. What they do is they invite people who have photographs, documents, they want it preserved in some way, so they can bring all their documents to the library at a specified time. They can only do 6 people, I think, a day. But what the state library will do, they will scan their pictures and their documents, and then they will provide a copy of all those they scanned to the patron, and then they keep a copy for themselves to add to their collection. It's a win-win situation. It's been,
What collection do they add it to?
they have an archive collection,
Of what?
old photos,
Images, documents.
documents.
Okay, so, my question, so I bring 50 pictures in to be scanned.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they scanned to and stored?
They'll probably say
It says
the
a
library.
USB drive.
Yeah,
To a
USB drive.
And what format are they scanned in, and do I have a choice of what resolution and everything else that they can be scanned to? You know,
Well, I'm sure
can
they
I
have all
scan
that.
something to 4D HD video?
No, probably not.
So, you know, so yeah, I'm gonna run them through the scanner, and are they JPEG files, or what can I scan them to, and what are the storage requirements? I mean, what if I have a terabyte of stuff I wanna scan?
I
Okay,
know.
if this program parallels at all the Minnesota State Archives, and I don't know that it does, but if it parallels the Minnesota State Archives, I bring my archival materials, they'll scan it into the Minnesota State Archival database, I get my materials back,
And I can retrieve it.
and I can
from there.
retrieve it from their system.
Well,
If I have donated the images and the rights to use of the image, I can retrieve it for free. If I have not, I can go in there and find stuff, and I can retrieve it, some of it free, but some of it at an
Some free,
charge.
some of it at an anonymous charge, okay. That's kind of my question.
Yeah.
Well, it says here that they'll receive a USB drive of their,
Right, but-
so that's
But that's.
limited.
That's convenience retrieval. If they're actually archiving, like Jim said, they're stored on a server someplace.
Yeah, if that's how this one
If
works.
that's how this is working. If it's just, I'm gonna scan it to the laptop that the state person happened to bring with them, and, yep, I put it on there, and then when I'm done, I put the USB in there, transfer it to them, and give it to you, and that's the extent of it. That's completely different program to me than archival scanning and storage.
Right. So it would be made clear, I'm assuming, if they
Right.
come,
Because what and kind of goes back, I'm afraid of, and this would be something that some commercial person's gonna come in and say, I don't know, I'll get stuff scanned to the cloud someplace, and then I'm gonna go make money off of it.
so, but they've done this in other places. I've read about
Right.
this. Yeah,
So there's gotta be some, I guess my question, what are the rules to this?
right.
I think it's a great idea. and
Yeah,
think people
I
would
do
use it,
too.
Absolutely.
But I
Yep.
just wanna make sure we're not,
Get the full information.
Well, it's the state library doing it, not us.
right.
So let it be their problem.
That's why I think it's gonna go to state archival, like
Right.
Yes, it is.
Jim was saying, and that you get a username and password, or, yeah, you get your USB drive, but, so, I lose it, but then I can come back and say, how do I,
Right,
how do I retrieve it again?
right.
Or I erased it.
Did they show pamphlets and stuff at
Did they
this?
show
Never happened.
Pamphlets? Like, did they show how they advertise it, or?
Yeah, I didn't know if they had any available that morning, but I can ask Weston.
Well, no, I was just curious if they had it set up, to show you what they did.
No, they didn't have
They
any
didn't,
equipment,
but
no.
in other libraries in South Dakota, they have it.
Yes.
I've,
Well, then
I've
let's-
seen,
let's
yeah.
Get more specifics about it.
Okay.
That would sound like a great,
So I guess I'm not understanding what kind of, I mean, these are my personal photographs and my personal documents. Why would they need to be stored in an
Well-
archive?
In case you lose it.
They say something.
well, see, that's.
It's
So
not-
you could choose
It's
not to do
It's
it.
not for you, it's for state historical purposes.
Right.
So that's my question, so if I
So
have.
you could choose not to do
So
it.
if I say, here's 6 birth certificates, and I want them scanned in just for my use, the birth certificates are already in somebody's database in the state
Right.
someplace anyway.
Mhm.
So they might say, yep, I'm just gonna put those on the thumb drive for you, and that's it, and maybe they don't go, but that's the kind of the question I have, so if I've got 10 documents that I'm donating and 200 documents that I just want for personal use, how is that handled during the scan-a-thon? Or
Okay.
whatever they call it.
So could you also email that to us?
Sure.
I just want
Whatever
more
they send
specifics
you.
on the details.
I'm sure they have some kind of a document or something that we could see through email.
Because that might change then how you promote it and all that type of stuff.
Right.
I mean, I can think of,
I'm curious on the resolution of it too.
Sure.
A document could be low resolution, but a picture needs to be
well,
fairly.
High resolution, yeah.
depends on what, but again, what do you want to do with it?
According to the South Dakota Digital Archives maintained by the State Historical Society, there are over 70,000 items in the South Dakota Digital Archives, including photographs, manuscripts, land survey records, and maps. New content is added weekly. Enjoy your virtual trip through South Dakota.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I like that.
And, you know, some of the stuff here, they have a collection of manuscripts, a bunch of government documents, land survey documents. Here we go.
Pick your list, huh?
Yeah, pick what you want, browse through it. The first thing that comes up is the 10th anniversary photo collection of the Rapid City flood of 1972.
So back to this conference, I'm really happy to see something come out of it because a lot of times I feel like that doesn't happen. But I'd like to see, there's a lot of good ideas in here and I'd like to
Yes.
see some of them happen as well. I mean, I don't think we should sit here and say, oh, do this one and do that one and whatever, but it's a whole bunch of ideas that I'd like to see. How about everybody else? I mean, I'd like to see some of these things happen in our library.
The last, I think maybe I mentioned it in the report. Jennifer Lagarde. Oh, yeah. We were just all flabbergasted, you know, the percentage of children that hadn't touched a book in 1978 or whatever was only 1%. Now it's 76% as of last year. So,
Yeah,
mean,
I don't
that's-
even believe it. I just don't even believe it.
no,
Something's wrong with that, or the wording, or something, because, you know, maybe it's an actual book. I don't know, I don't believe it. If they're in a school, they touch a book, you know,
Yeah.
the kids do. I don't know. I don't believe it. There's something wrong with that. It says
Probably,
people,
yes.
including children, who had not picked up a book. Yeah, I don't believe that. I just don't. Sorry. Yeah, maybe I'm astounded. I don't know, but I'd like to know how that information was gathered.
Oh, how she gathered the information.
Because every child in our school has touched a book. Every school I've been in has touched a book.
But adults. Where do people get their information?
Yeah, but I mean, and a lot of them are touching those same books. And yes, also, I do, 90% of mine on my iPad, so. But it's a book. It's a book. I'm touching a book, really. Not an
Yeah.
actual book, but.
And that's an important distinction to make, because we used to have a law library on the top floor of the courthouse that had, 25,000 volumes, maybe 40,000, I don't know. That's all gone.
Yeah.
But I have 50 times that much available here.
Yeah.
So I use those books constantly. And I
love it.
use them more efficiently than I ever used to, but I never pick up a law book.
I love it. I just think that's
So
wonderful.
what's a book? I think that's kind of what's important.
Yeah. I mean, it's shocking and there's a shock factor there, but it doesn't sound accurate to me. It doesn't. Who gave that information? Like what?
Jennifer Lagarde,
Oh, I see.
the
Okay.
speaker, yeah.
I guess I'd want to see the documentation of that and how it was gathered. So,
We got about 10 minutes.
well, there's one more thing. Except that I had a hard time following the emails you sent about, B&T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can you
I'll clean that
summarize
up.
that in a nutshell?
Yeah, I had a hard time following it.
Baker and Taylor versus Ingram for Oakland.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't like come to a conclusion. And then the other email, it sounds like it starts in the middle of it, so it's out of
Oh,
context.
sure, yeah, I will.
In a thumbnail,
Yeah.
what's your conclusion about
Okay.
comparing the two?
From what I read from this, we're saving money, going through Ingram and Baker and Taylor. They said a lot of the, titles that they short discounted, just say like 5, 10, 20%. If we'd ordered them through Ingram, we would get the full 40% discount. Plus, we're getting free shipping on anything, order over 15 items.
Well, Ingram looks like a better deal at this point.
Excuse me?
Ingram looks like a
Yeah,
better deal.
it does look like a better. Yeah, I think people see that 42.5%.
People are knocking at the door.
Yep.
Does Ingram have access to all the same books as Baker and Taylor?
Oh, yeah, Baker and Taylor, they order their books from Ingram. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Really?
Yeah,
So,
go figure.
this-
And Baker and Taylor is,
Distributor and sub-distributor.
Yeah,
yep.
All right. Yeah,
Content provider and sub.
Yeah.
finger in every pie.
I would like to end the meeting with one comment. A member of my book club, avid reader, lived in Mitchell for 15 years, maybe more. Never been to Mitchell Public Library. We gave her a hard time. The next day she went and got herself a library.
That's awesome.
Peer pressure.
We like to hear that. We like to hear that.
And she was okay?
Yeah, she was that good, pretty there. That's great.
Well, I think that we can conclude if we,
Yeah, yeah.
I wish you adjourned. Okay.
no second?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear
Yeah, Jenny
you.
did.
Okay, we're all done.
Okay, 5:40.
Thanks.
really get,
I didn't do anything with them.
Oh, I thought you unlocked the doors.
No,
Okay, we have to make sure the doors are unlocked.
I didn't do anything. They should be.
No, they automatically lock at 5.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you make sure that they unlock and then you lock when you're done.
get good information on that
Yeah.
swine deal.
Yeah.
Just as a closing comment, the most popular weeks